Imagine embarking on an unforgettable journey through the heart of Italy, where every turn is a new treasure and every moment is filled with beauty and culture. You start your adventure in Rome, the eternal city. Next, you venture into the rolling hills of Tuscany, where the air is perfumed with the scent of vineyards and olive grove. The journey continues to Venice, the floating city of canals and gondolas, after Five Earth and Milan. But your Italian adventure doesn't end on land. It's about to get even more extraordinary. A magical journey through Italy, topped off with a house music festival on Costa Cruise. Dance under the stars, relax in style, and discover exclusive performances on deck, all while sailing to some of the most beautiful destinations. There are 3 packages to choose from. Sailing dates are from September 24th through the 28th, 2025. Book yours now at festivaloncruise.com.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Heidi's house. This is your host, Queen Bee Heidi B. And today's featured guest is an artist, singer-songwriter, Crystal Levell. I'm so excited to hear about her house music journey. So, are you ready? Then, let's go. So, here she is. We have Crystal Levell in the house.
Hi, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you so much, Heidi, for having me on your show and your podcast. Thank you so much. I'm humbled and honored.
Thank you. I'm so very happy and grateful to have a chance to interview you and share in this podcast about you and about your artist profile and house music journey. So pleasure is truly all mine. So and as you know, this podcast is introducing global house music culture, and it gives like a little snapshot kind of glimpse to each featured guest. And should the audience want to know more, then we'll also have the information about where to find you in the social media towards the end.
Definitely.
And we're gonna also play some of your releases in a mini mix
Yes.
part that is coming straight after the interview. But without further talk, I'm gonna go straight into our first question. Which
Definitely.
goes, tell us a bit about who is Crystal Levell.
Well, my name is Crystal Levell. I've been singing since the age of 4. My background is gospel music. So I've been singing since the age of 4. I grew up in church, singing in the choir. My family, from my uncle to my grandmother, um, were singers, were artists, and, just inherited from them, and my uncle David was the one that discovered that I could sing.
Yeah.
And when he discovered that, he told me to get into the children's choir. So I did get into the children's choir at a church at Mount Hermon, and I started singing with them. And then now my uncle, who was part of the adult choir, we both were in the choir together. I was in the children's choir, he was in the adult choir. So when we will have a mass choir anniversary, it'll be the children's choir and the adult choir celebrating their anniversary. So we always did the anniversaries together with it, which was so cool. It was so cool doing that. I really enjoyed singing and for God, and making sure that people know that God is real, and that He is the one that's looking over us, and making sure that we are okay, and that we are doing what we are supposed to do as people. So, I'm definitely in debt to my uncle and finding out about me singing and, and figuring out how to sing, because he gave me his, his views into singing because he's also a singer too.
Yeah.
So, and he was in the Air Force, and he did the Bob Hope specials and stuff, for the
Ah,
military, the Tops and Blues and stuff. So he did all that for the military. So he did entertainment with them. So he kind of had a little grasp on the
mhm.
entertaining and how to do stuff. So I thank God for him giving me instructions and seeing how to do stuff and how it's supposed to be done.
That's a
So
beautiful, beautiful background there with the connection to God, to family, the importance of kind of like a having that close person to discover you and mentor you. That's why I was doing this, because I'm like, oh,
yes,
it's so beautiful.
yeah,
And thank you for your uncle David for doing all that for you. And
yeah,
without him, we wouldn't be doing this here, and we wouldn't be
definitely.
sharing your beautiful gift to the world, which is
Thank you
your
so much.
beautiful voice and your songs. So that's a beautiful, beautiful background.
Definitely,
And
definitely.
that leads us to the next question. Now, you come from the gospel background, and of course, gospel music is connected to, especially to the gospel house. Uh,
Yes.
but what got you originally? What would you say that got you to the house music, Crystal?
Well, I love all types of music. My dad used to play all types of music, R&B, house, jazz. He played all types of music. So when I would listen to music, I love a variety of music. But what got me into house music is is when I found that it can also be inspirational, and you can also do your gospel music in that too, and you can also include it into it. It's not just for house music. You could put a variety in house, and you can put a house track or house music to a gospel song
True.
or to a jazz song. It's a variety of things that you can do with house music. So I was loving the fact that you can put a variety
Yeah.
into your music and how you can do that.
Yeah,
You
I think
know,
you're absolutely right with that. And that was very beautifully kind of summarized, that the house music as itself, it is open to explore, and it has all of different kind of influences throughout the
yes, it
years.
does.
Now more than 40 years that we have had so-called house music. Before it was even there, but it was called in different ways. But really truly that it is that kind of open genre that explores different kind of influences and fuses them together.
Yes, ma'am.
And I
Yes,
think that's
ma'am.
why it is
Definitely.
very, very, very touching, very many people. And even though it still is not in a mainstream, but I think the mainstream has been tremendously affected by house music and
Mhm.
influenced by house
Mhm.
music, and we are getting there to be recognized more and more and more. It is a process, and
Yes.
beautiful
A- and
artists
I
like you are
and
working
I
on
hope it
that.
does become more and more,
Yes.
available to be global. I really would love for it to become global, you know, and available to
That,
everyone, you
that's
know.
what we are doing here. This is this is exactly what we are also doing with our own contributions, and I just can't wait to share your music to do my little humble part here, to sharing it
I
maybe to
appreciate that.
somebody else that is interested to learn and know more and explore more and new sounds and artists and so on. So it is
Definitely.
kind of that kind of
Definitely.
idea as well, and to educate. We educate the people
Yes.
as an
Yes.
artist and songwriters by bringing new stuff and fusing it.
Definitely. And you're such a great artist yourself, Heidi.
Thank
I,
you.
I,
Thank you.
I, as you see, I chart your music, and I love your music. I'm really loving your music,
Thank you
you
so
know, and I'm loving your path as in you being an artist. I'm loving it. It's
we
awesome.
we support each other. That's how it goes. That's the most beautiful thing that we can do, and likewise I can say exactly the same words to you. Now,
Oh,
when we talk about artists, now this leads again beautifully to the next question. Now, you mentioned that you have a large um, appetite when it comes to the different genres of music. You are not just limited to one genre or style, but you listen many kind of things
a
and
variety. Yep.
genres. So there's a variety. Now, therefore, what kind of artists would you say have influenced you the most?
Oh my God, there's so many artists. I can start off with my girl, Dawn Tallman,
Yeah, yeah,
the queen of energy.
yeah,
And
beautiful.
she has really, really had a big impact on me with music. And she's really, really been a big sister to me, you know, and shout out to Dawn Tallman,
Shout
you
out.
know, shout out to her. She has really been a big sister to me. She's really been a person that really took me under her wing, you
Yeah.
know, to say, Crystal, this is what you need to do. She's been in this business for a long time.
Mhm, mhm.
And her music is so inspirational. I've learned about her through her music. And you know, she has an album out that's called For Me.
Mhm.
And some of those songs just really, really inspired me and made me look as a person and as a woman,
Yeah.
you know. Because sometimes because of you being big, in the music industry, some people feel you're not marketable,
Mhm.
and she touches on that point as in you're beautiful regardless, you know,
Absolutely.
of what people say, and she has that song Beautiful, Beautiful View, and I just love that song. And then the For Me song, it just it just speaks to me as a person, and the song says you can be who you want to be,
Yes.
you know. For me, I choose to be happy, and in that saying, you're choosing to be happy and not let things get to you,
Yes.
you
Absolutely.
know, or let the trials or the tribulations consume you, and I thank her for those messages that she gives in her music. And, you know, she's a very, very great big sister. Great.
Beautiful, beautiful influence. And before we go further, I have to say I totally agree with this thing. And it comes, the message that she's giving, making the influence, making an impact with those message and those lyrics and
Yeah.
the showing an example uh,
Yeah.
of being happy and doing her own thing. And I think we all,
Yes. Yes.
what
Yes.
connects us as well. I mean,
Definitely.
we are not
Definitely.
coming from that kind of background that it's something superficial, but
Yes.
we want to
Yes.
share the message that you can do
Yes.
your thing and you can do
Yep.
your thing and be beautiful
Yes.
just as you
Yes.
are, no
Beautiful.
matter
Yes. Yes.
who you are, really.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I
So,
love Tamala Mann. She's very good. I love Fantasia.
mm,
You know, I'm loving Crystal Waters
Yeah, yeah, me too.
and Alternate. She's very good. Tasha Diggs, who's a DJ.
Mhm.
I'm loving her. You know, DJ Spin, he's very good. You
Yeah.
know, DJ Spin. DJ Chillette, awesome DJ. You know, I he's been on the rise for a long time now.
Yeah.
And I believe that people really need to give him his due too. You
Yes.
know, definitely. You know, um, Aretha Franklin, Gladys Knight. You
Oh
know,
my goodness.
there's a
Yeah.
lot of people that
Oh, there's so
influence
many.
me. You know, Patti LaBelle.
Oh.
You know, Kiara Sheard,
Mhm.
Kelly. You know, Karen Sheard, and the Clark sisters. You know, it's a lot of influences. You know, and shout out to all of them. You
Shout
know,
out to
shout
all
out
of
to all
them.
of them.
And hey, people watching this now, if you haven't listened some of those artists, please do, because you are missing a lot if you haven't. Oh
Yes,
my God.
yes,
Amazing
yes.
artists.
Amazing.
And I too, I share another thing, that I do have a big appetite when it comes to the style of music, and I think it's very important, in various ways, as an artist yourself, as a vocalist, you learn, you get inspired, you get ideas from the other artists, but also then your music, what you do, and what you write. It is just truly a great thing for an artist to do that have that wide variety of people, and not to just limit yourself to some
Yes,
particular thing.
yes,
You would be missing a lot. And I think it then, when you make your own views, you make Crystal's interpretation by having a little bit, ideas, influences here, you make it
yep,
still your own. But it's just, beautiful thing to be inspired by
yes,
those amazing artists that you mentioned,
yes,
and DJs as
yes,
well, which I love that you mentioned the DJs, because they are huge influences, especially when it comes to the house music.
yes,
Oh,
yes.
now next question. Uh, what would you say if you think about some of the house music tracks that somehow touch you, and you could never get tired of listening to them? Could you name some of those tracks that you never get tired of?
Oh God, I love tracks like from the old house tracks.
Yeah.
You know, like Colonel Abrams,
Mm,
um, Kenny Bobin.
yeah.
His tracks are very, very, very inspirational. And shout out to Kenny Bobin too. You know, and it's just it's a lot of older tracks that really, really, has inspired me.
Mhm.
You know, as in you got Follow Me house track.
Yeah.
You know, you got Let No Man Put Us Under. You
Oh,
know,
yes.
Caught Up. You know, the song Caught Up. You got a lot of really old songs. You know what I'm saying? That that are really, really inspirational. Really, and it's really nice to make this music really, really available to people that doesn't know anything about it. You
Mm,
know,
absolutely. And
some
and
of the,
and and you said a good point there. I've noticed that the people know well, maybe the generation that doesn't already know those old tracks, they might be not aware that many of the so-called late trendy tracks are actually borrowing loops and samples from those many
yeah,
classics. So
yeah,
it's many times more history and background on those. So please listen the original
yeah,
stuff as well, and be inspired. So very
yes, definitely,
point what you mentioned there.
yes, definitely. definitely. It's really, really inspirational. It really is. You have to, you have to look at that, the old stuff, because that's what really makes the new music that's coming out. That's what really makes it a little bit more accessible
Yeah,
and more knowledgeable. You
true.
know, when you're dealing with music, you have to get more knowledgeable on what you're doing.
Yes,
You
definitely.
know, and a lot of knowledge has to go into what you're doing. Now, I'm the type of artist, I do write.
Hmm.
So most of my stuff I write.
Yeah,
So you do have some artists that don't write, you know what I'm saying? But for the artists that do write, we put our all into it,
yeah,
you know. And it's not just about writing, it's about people understanding our music
true.
and understanding our point and where we're trying to come from, you know.
Exactly, exactly. And the message that we put out there, the message that we want to share with the world, um, that's something that is truly important for especially for us who write the music and write the
Yeah.
songs. So um,
Yeah.
we are gonna go a little bit to that message in a little bit later point, but now that brings a beautiful continuum to the next question about your own music and about your own songwriting. When did you discover that you have the talent and drive and desire to write your own songs?
Well, I have been singing since the age of 4,
Hmm.
but when I was in my 30s,
Yeah.
I really, really started taking it seriously. You know what I'm saying? As in, I had to start taking things very serious, you know.
Yeah.
And with me, I started to look at things and started looking at how the music you know, is affecting me, as a person,
Yeah.
So I started I started saying to myself, like, okay, I have to really start taking this seriously, you know. And when I started taking the music seriously, um, it was just like, okay, you're doing what you're doing, and you have to take this seriously, and you cannot half step,
Hmm.
you know. And that's the most important part. People have to realize that you cannot half step, you know. You cannot half step,
True.
you know.
And and I'm thinking, do you still remember the first track what you wrote about?
You know what? I do remember my first track, which was Finally.
Right. All right.
It
And
was Finally.
what inspired you with that song?
Well, what inspired me with Finally is that um when I first started uh working with Joe Flame, who
Hmm.
was the producer of it, and he sent me, a track and said, because I did some background music with Keisha Hall, who was my mentor.
Yeah.
Um and she had music out, and she asked me to do some background
All right.
for her song, which I did. It is called Amazing Love. And I did some background, and then he asked her about me doing some music, and we talked. He sent me a track, and he, said, "Well, do you write?"
Mm-hmm.
And I had started writing at
Hmm.
that time. So he said, just see if you can write something to it.
Yeah.
And he sent it to me, and it was on a Saturday when he gave me the track. By Monday, Finally was written.
Yeah. Wonderful.
You
Wonderful.
know?
I love the fact that
you
you
know.
took on the challenge, and
Yeah,
because sometimes I noticed that we might be our biggest, our own biggest obstacles when it might be feeling scary, or like, can I do it, or anything like this, but just, we keep on going and we take on challenges, and we can then
yeah,
later be like, wow, how it opens up new paths, and it just, you feel that you just want to start to do more of it, and you've been doing that songwriting since now. Is
yeah.
there a particular track that somehow stands out from anything else that you have written, and maybe why?
Well, my first track finally always stands out to me because it was my first track,
All right.
you know, and it talks about God, and it talks about, you know, how I just was running away from God, and he was trying to talk to me and try to talk to me, and I just kept running, you
Yeah.
know, and finally it was just like, okay, God, I give up. You know what I'm saying? I
Yes.
give up. Let's do this.
Yeah.
And remember, I was brought up in the church since age
Mhm,
of 4,
mhm,
so I knew that by me keep running, it wasn't it wasn't good. It
mhm.
wasn't good. You know, and when God is calling you to do something, and at that time I was just like, okay, God, this is it. I'm gonna stop running, you know.
This is it. Yeah.
And it was just like, okay. And the song talks about, bringing me through instances and situations, and me running, and by God saying, okay, since you're following me, I will guide your steps. I will order your steps,
Yeah.
you know. And from then on, it's been me and God, it's been me and God, and putting one foot in this, foot forward,
Beautiful, beautiful. People check that song
hmm
track out, and I'm gonna, include that to
And
the
there's a finally remix
well.
by Juan Valentine.
Yes, yes, yes. So,
That
mm-hmm.
is awesome. That is awesome. Check out the Juan Valentine remix.
Mm-hmm.
And there's another song called None Like You.
None like you.
And it talks about God. You know, there's none like him. He is awesome. He is he is above all, and how how he has changed my life. I can only speak of what he's done in my life and how he's changed my life, you know. And I'm so very appreciative, Heidi, that you called me and included me in this podcast and wanting to interview me. I'm very humbled and I'm very honored, in that.
The pleasure is truly all mine, and we were about to go to the last question, but you started to answer to it very beautifully, because the question was that, what do you think is your message to the world and to the house music community? And my heart and my spirit is telling that that is exactly what you are there sending in a track
Yes.
called Finally, and other of your works, where you talk about the importance of accepting the God in your life and living,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
your life in accordance to your passion and your
Yeah.
purpose that he has given to you, because we all have our purpose and we were given those gifts for a reason. So I think that is what I'm hearing and what I'm
Yes,
seeing.
ma'am. Yes,
Beautiful
ma'am.
contribution to this world. And I truly hope that really many more people will get to hear you and your beautiful voice and your songs
Thank you
with
so
that
much.
message. And And as I was mentioning, this is a very short snapshot kind of interview, and
Yes,
we are
ma'am.
gonna go to a final question. So for those people who want to know more about you and your music, where can they find you in social media?
Okay, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, and I'm on X. Okay. My name is Crystal Levell, Crystal Levell. And you can find me on Facebook, you can find me on Instagram, and you can find me on X, as it's called now. Definitely. I'm worldwide. You can look me up worldwide.
Definitely, people go and check this amazing artist out, really, truly. And I'm so grateful and happy to be able to play some of your amazing music in the following mini mix. And now it's time to send you many blessings and love straight from Finland, Helsinki. And thank you for being a part of this podcast.
Thank you so much, Heidi, for having me. I'm humbled and honored.
Thank you so much.
And I am loving your music, Heidi, too.
Thank
And you
you.
as an artist.
Like,
And I appreciate you. Definitely.
I appreciate you.
Definitely.
All right.
Definitely.
Then it's time to say bye bye, or in Finland we say hey hey.
Hey, hey, Finland. It's been a pleasure. It's been an honor and a pleasure. And definitely look me up. I gave you the information, my information. I'm worldwide. You can look me up worldwide. And you can contact me through Facebook, Instagram, or X. Okay? Definitely. And Heidi, keep going with this podcast and your music.
Yeah, we
I'm
keep on
really,
going.
I'm really, I'm I'm really enjoying your podcast and your music, you
Thank
know.
you so
And
much.
thank you for your contributions to music and to us artists,
Likewise,
and
we
and
inspire
making
each
sure
other.
we get to and making sure that we get to know, we get recognition too, in regards to as being an artist. Thank
Definitely.
you so much for that.
We grow together. And
Definitely.
one quick question. Actually, if we have a time just to explore this quickly, any new releases coming that we can look forward?
Yes, yes. Some new
Can we?
releases are coming soon.
All
They're
right.
coming soon. So just be on the lookout for it. It is
Mhm.
coming soon.
All
It's
right.
it is coming soon. Okay? Definitely.
All right.
Definitely.
So she leaves us with a little bit excitement and suspension there, but it's
Definitely.
okay, so we'll be
Definitely.
more eager
Definitely.
to get
Definitely.
the social
Definitely.
media
Definitely.
out.
We just want to make sure that this track it's it's fine and it's done correctly. We want to make sure it's within it's within the limits. We want to make sure of that. So definitely
So
new stuff is coming out. New stuff is
beautiful.
definitely coming out.
So
Definitely.
we will be on lookout for that. And again, hey, hey
Definitely.
from Helsinki, many blessings, and
Blessings to you too, Heidi, okay?
all right,
And be safe, okay?
you as well.
Definitely have a great day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.